5. Developing your prospecting system. You started with a longer list of leads that you identified during your different prospecting tactics, then narrowed it down by researching and evaluating them using our 3 filters. The end result is a segmented, limited, and prioritized lead list. Successful salespeople know exactly which prospects they are pursuing at any time, and all the reasons why they are investing time in them. There's nothing vague about their leads. If you wake up sales champions in the middle of the night, they will be able to recite all of their top leads. There's also nothing vague about their prospecting systems. Sales aces develop a system that they follow religiously and capture the most important information on each of their prospects to have at their fingertips when they start to reach out to them. They understand that they won't be able to pull up the information from memory, especially once they start to juggle many different prospects and are at different stages of outreach for each of them. Preparation is good, efficient preparation is better. Abraham Lincoln said that if he had 8 hours to chop down a tree, he'd spent the first 6 of them sharpening the axe. In general, this approach describes how sales champions approach prospecting. When they see a potentially good prospect, they don't just pick up the phone and call with a generic message. They spend time to research and evaluate, customize an RBR, decide on a plan of attack, and then execute. But how much time should be spent on this preparatory work? Over-preparation in sales is as common as under-preparation. There's no reason to precede every call with hours of research worthy of a college assignment. At this point in the sales process, the extent of your research should be enough to determine if, based on the different filters you're applying, product and audience match, access to decision makers, budget, the prospect should have a place on your lead list. Allow you to develop a customized RBR. Identify key decision makers or decision influencers at the company and their contact information. You can usually do all that pretty quickly. I see far too many salespeople getting lost in the details, going down too many rabbit holes when doing Google searches on a prospect. Most salespeople enjoy doing this type of research, or to be more specific, they enjoy it more than cold calling. As a result, they risk spending too much time finding and validating information and not enough time setting up new face-to-face business meetings. If you would bill yourself for the time you will be spending researching a prospect, would it be worth your investment? Strategic prospecting. Effective salespeople are always alert and looking out for leads. You might be noticing leads at night while watching TV or during the day in the car on the way to a sales call. Of course, you want to capture these. But don't mistake this for strategic prospecting. Strategic prospecting means setting aside time in your calendar and doing all the prospecting tasks we just covered, and, equally important, doing them consistently. I see many sales pros block out Friday afternoons to do this kind of work. Their reasoning is that at the end of the week, they had already put enough time into setting up new business meetings and wanted to end the week with work that would motivate them for the following week. And what better way to do that than finding a new prospect everyone else has overlooked? Monday can't come fast enough. In the end, it doesn't really matter which day of the week you make these appointments with yourself. Just don't schedule them in the middle of the prime selling hours. Don't give up too early. One of the biggest differences between experienced sales champions and sales rookies is their focus on their lead lists. Rookies easily get frustrated when they are not able to get in the door with their prospects. They hear one objection from a person at the company they are reaching out to, maybe even a lower-level employee, and out the window the lead goes. We'll just replace it with a new one, right? Wrong. Effective salespeople are more patient and remind themselves that often the best prospects are the toughest ones to crack. They stay laser-focused on finding ways to meet with prospects in whom they have invested a good amount of research time. If they weren't convinced the prospect is worth their time, the prospect wouldn't be on their lead list in the first place. This applies especially to dream leads. Some of the best deals that I've witnessed took a while to materialize, including several failed attempts to set up meetings with decision makers at the beginning of the sales process. Case study. Meet Rebecca Jims. Rebecca Jims is a fictional gym that will accompany us for the rest of the book so we can put the sales strategies and tactics introduced into practice and to make scripts, objections, and proposals that follow later in the book more realistic and easier to follow. Assuming you're part of the advertising sales force of a family-owned local media company based in New York, that operates local magazines, radio stations, and digital platforms. That company is, very creatively, called NYC Media, and its platforms reach more than 5 million people in the tri-state area. You saw a job posting for Rebecca Jim's New York district manager in New York's Crain's Business magazine. The name of the company didn't ring a bell, which led you to believe that Rebecca Jim's was either a new brand of an existing gym provider, similar to how Equinox Gym started Blink Fitness, a new fitness startup, or an existing regional gym brand located in a different geographic area of the country trying to expand into the Northeast. A quick Google search confirmed the latter. Rebecca Jim's is a company based in San Diego, with 103 locations on the West Coast in California, Oregon, and Washington. A Wikipedia entry shows that it is a privately owned company, founded in 1994 and still run by founder and CEO Rebecca Miller. You check with your sales manager to find out if she has ever heard of the company or whether she knows if anyone on the team has already reached out. She didn't think so. You check Salesforce and confirm there has not been any activity with this account. Since NYC Media doesn't operate media properties on the West Coast, this doesn't come as a surprise. You access Rebecca Jim's website and start reading the About the Company section, where you not only see the number of locations by state, but also their work with charities, mostly UNICEF and the Obesity Action Coalition, and their mission statement: to provide strong and confident women with a workout place they can call their own. All of their 103 centers are owned and operated by the company. They don't seem to offer franchising opportunities. All the images shown on the homepage are of women of different ages, between 25 and 50 years old, and different ethnicities. Their current TV spot promoting their West Coast locations can be viewed on the homepage. The 30-second spot uses the tagline, "Fitness that fits women," shows several women working out together, and ends with the offer to come with a friend and you'll both receive 50% off for the first 6 months. In the executive team section, a subsection of About the Company, you not only get introduced to Rebecca Miller, but also to Chief Financial Officer Thomas Miller, going off his picture, potentially Rebecca's son, Chief Fitness Manager Lucy Borgen, Chief Marketing Officer Tracy Ranner, and Chief Membership Officer Frank Rosen. Unfortunately, their email addresses are not included in their bios, so you go to hunter.io and determine their email addresses are the first letter of their first name combined with their full last name, then at RebeccaGyms.com. You assume from the geographic locations of their gyms that the entire C-suite is based in San Diego. You go to LinkedIn to determine if you have any mutual connections, but since Rebecca Jim's is at this point a West Coast-oriented company, you don't. Quick Google and Windmill searches don't result in any hits for advertising agencies working with Rebecca Jim's. You therefore make the assumption that the company's marketing team is working directly with media outlets on its marketing campaigns. And make a note to confirm this once you are face-to-face with a prospect there. Google did uncover an interesting interview Advertising Age conducted with CMO Tracy Ranner 3 months ago. To find out more about its advertising expenditure, you run a Kantar report that shows Rebecca Jim's media mix as $4.9 million broadcast TV advertising, 54%, $2.2 million radio advertising, 25%, $1.1 million outdoor advertising, 12%, $0.8 million newspaper advertising, 9%. You run a Media Monitors report on the company's Western markets and notice that the radio stations bought most frequently are female skewing adult contemporary and top 40 radio stations. That on the TV side, Rebecca Jim's seems to have loyalty to local NBC affiliates. The company is running full-page ads in one local newspaper per market. When listening to its radio commercial, you make a note that the creative follows the audio of their TV spot, but question whether that is the most effective way to use the medium. A query on Sponsor United shows that Rebecca Jim's is an in-stadium sponsor of the Los Angeles Dodgers, a strange choice for a 100% female-oriented company. Last, you check out the company's Instagram and Twitter channels. With 14,000 Twitter followers and 51,000 Instagram followers, it seems that Rebecca Jim's social media following is below average when compared to other similarly sized fitness centers. A quick scroll through the most recent post shows a broad mix of topics, from healthy eating to a Trainer of the Week feature. Throughout this process, you're mentally running the information you're gathering through our 3 filters. Is NYC Media's product or service right for Rebecca Jim's business and its customers? Yes. Clearly, the company is trying to reach middle-aged females. NYC Media is operating several female-skewing radio stations in New York, as well as a health-oriented digital platform with an 80% female audience. Do you have access to Rebecca Jim's key decision makers? Yes. It doesn't seem that the company is using third-party consultants or agencies for its media buys. You have the names and email addresses of all C-suite members and are confident a LinkedIn search will uncover more potential contacts. The fact that all of them seem to be located on the West Coast is certainly not ideal, but you should be able to set up a face-to-face video call. Hopefully they are making progress hiring a locally based district manager who you could also meet in person. Will Rebecca Jims be able to adequately fund a potential solution by NYC Media? Yes. Based on the Kantar and Media Monitor's information, you believe this could be a sizable account once the company launches on the East Coast. You spent exactly 34 minutes doing this research and now have determined that the prospect Rebecca Jims is worth your time. As a result, you open the lead in Salesforce. You upload all the reports you just pulled to the Rebecca Jims account and add notes about all the other relevant information you uncovered. You will need these in the next steps of the sales process. You're convinced this is a good lead and you're pumped. It's time to plan and kick off your marketing campaign to set up a video call with them.